Hey, everybody. Long time no talk. Seems like haven't spoken to you guys since last year, and that's probably because I haven't. So it's the first AMA that I am on for this year. Glad to be here. And so with me, of course, I have Alex. Say hi to everybody, Alex.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
All right. What's been happening? Tell me what's been happening. I've been away. I feel like I've been away forever.
Yeah, so Happy New Year, Happy Orthodox Christmas, and before it was, how's it called? Protestant, Catholic Christmas, I don't know. Probably both, right? Yeah, so soon, in 3 weeks, we will have Chinese New Year. So a long holiday season. All right, so a lot of things going on, I believe, on your side as well, right? So how Litos is flowing?
Right. So we have quite a lot of smart contract dissection and auditing and things like that happening right now. So this is with Palmyra, and so we've been going over our we're getting all the smart contracts audited right now. We have several utilities going on live. We're gonna have the full traceability suite also being basically going on online and going live, and we're introducing a new product that is going to be utilizing it heavily. So we have to make sure that everything is working right, and it is. There's no big issues or anything like that. But it's going to be really exciting because we're going to have a new product, part of the Palmyra platform that is going to utilize the blockchain for traceability on a more regular basis. So that's exciting. Now, from the Lithium side, so that's also a very interesting thing that we've been doing right now. So the first thing that we started working on, the first of many vectors, of many vertices that we've been pursuing in Argentina is the decentralized lithium pricing index. And so this is actually going to be an opportunity to utilize Ergo oracles because there's going to be a need for many different types of oracles, and it's basically going to be kind of almost a fee market type of system. And the oracles, various different oracles, are just going to have a chance to participate and to utilize a reward system. And so to kind of give the basic breakdown on what it is. So with commodity trading, there's a lot of times, most of the time, in fact, pretty much all the time, with major commodities out there like gold, silver, copper, there's an index. There's the unified pricing index that basically says that, the price of gold today is this much. LBMA gold, for example, and this is where everybody goes and checks and trades and, kind of knows what's going on. This does not exist for lithium, and as weird as it is, as big as lithium is, this does not exist for lithium. There are many separate pricing indexes, but they're fragmented. There's one for the LME and the SME, or the CME, the London Mercantile Exchange and the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. There are some that are being tracked by the S&P. In fact, our partners, Atomico Tres, they're the ones that report to the S&P. They're the pricing providers for the S&P. And so it's pretty fragmented. And so what happens is, because it's so fragmented, it gives a lot of room for price manipulation. And so there's regions out there that are less than honest about their price reporting, and so they try to manipulate the price to make the price go up, to get things, to get things chugging along more, so they can make more money. And so this screws it up for everybody. And that's why there's no unified price index, because you don't really know who to trust. And so you only can go to, only a select few parties that you can trust. And so this presents an opportunity to create a unified price index that is going to be utilizing a reputational scoring system, which and also utilize a specific algorithm that was designed by Atomico 3 that will actually basically compensate for expected price manipulation and balance things out. And so we're going to be putting that into effect. And so for this, we need oracles. These different oracles, they're going to be getting all these price feeds from all over the world, and they're going to need to bring those price feeds on chain for the protocol to be able to average it out. And so there's going to be a lot of opportunity out there for this. And so for the price oracles, so how is this going to make money? The way it's going to make money is it's actually going to be like a Bloomberg terminal, which is a subscription service. And so there's many different parties that are looking for this. They're looking for a clear unified price index. And this one is going to be decentralized. It's going to be on chain. So it's going to be auditable. It's going to be very transparent. And this will attract players into this ecosystem to utilize this. Because like I said, this is a big problem in the industry. So the decentralization is going to be a big aspect of it. And so the fees are going to be coming in from people utilizing this. And then these fees are going to be partially distributed to the various different oracles that are in the ecosystem. So hence you will have this really healthy, like Oracle ecosystem that is going to be supplying information and bringing it on chain. So it's a very exciting project. We are, we're at the end of the preliminary planning stages right now. We're going to start banging out some code and some prototypes really soon. And yeah, I'm really excited, like I said, because it gives us the ability to utilize various different types of oracles, including our Ergo oracles. And it'll also give incentives for people to spin up more Ergo oracles. So yeah, just a really exciting project to be to be able to spin up. And that's not all. That's only the beginning. I can go on about all this other stuff, but that is really the first thing on our plate right now. So yeah, that's what's been going on in the world of lithium and whatnot. So yeah, how about you, Alex? I mean, what's been going on in the ecosystem?
Yeah, first of all, that's quite exciting. So I think, Oracle pools is quite natural design for multiple oracles, right? So submitting lithium prices. And then, it would be good to have lithium-based stablecoins, right, for different purposes. So for clearing physical lithium and so on. So yeah, that's quite exciting.
So this will actually give us a base. It's actually really neat a tool to create then the lithium stablecoin that we've been talking about, because we'll be able to then get these unified price feeds. So we're not going to have to kind of guess who's giving us the right information, who's not. So yeah, it's a big value add, I think, and that's why we're starting with this and not with the stablecoin. We're starting with the lithium index because there's going to be an immediate impact with it.
Right. So actually, that makes a lot of sense. That's how we started with Ergo. Actually, so we started with oracles, right? Oracle pool design, and then stablecoin followed. So that's understandable, especially if there is no well-established price feeds, right? As you told, I mean, if there are multiple sources of truth, then the first question is which one to project on the blockchain, right?
Right.
Um, yeah, that's very interesting. So in regards with Ergo ecosystem, so yeah, well, it's like there are no holidays, so a lot of updates. Yeah, well, in the first place, I've published near final draft of subblock CIP, right, and doing some prototyping codes now. That would bring maximum performance possible for proof of work peer-to-peer network, right? Real peer-to-peer network and real proof of work. So the design is based on distinction between input blocks and ordering blocks, and I believe other networks also are going this direction, right? Like Cardano. So I've heard that they also are planning to use the similar structure, but yeah, also we are in touch with Bitcoin Cash folks, developers and so on. So and yeah, they even have guys somehow associated with Bitcoin Cash, even have some papers published on quite similar design called Tailstorm and so on. So yeah, it seems different ideas are converging, which is not surprising considering that we are in mid 2020s, right? So this field is established quite well now if we are talking about peer-to-peer networking and consensus. Well, still a lot of things going on in regards with cryptography. So we had extensive chat before New Year. So that's for you then, probably not for community. So we had a community chat on post-quantum options, right, which was quite hot topic in December. Because of some new quantum hardware appeared. There are actually a lot of new cryptographic schemes appearing every day. So just yesterday, there was a new announcement of efficient zero knowledge scheme for incremental verifiable computation called Micronova. So it's quite efficient even for validating proofs in Ethereum contracts. So yeah, it's then could be adopted for verifying something on Ergo as well. So checking stuff like that. For 6.0, there is a security audit ongoing right now. So Dusik found a few issues to the moment. So I'm finishing working on fixes, and then we will have public testnet deployments. So protocol client version for public testnet 6.0 client, I mean, will be published around the beginning of the next week if no more issues will be found. Preparing also new minor releases for Sigma interpreter and the protocol client. So Sigma interpreter will contain a new Ergo script function, basically a form of macros for deserializing typed scripts, which is useful to do kind of P2SH contracts even in Ergo script. So before they were made in Ergo 3, so kind of low-level language. Now it's possible to use all the stuff like P2SH contracts in high level language. Also Merkleized finite state machines and so on. So actually a lot of exciting stuff. Then a lot of things going on in the community as usually. So just few days ago, liquidity pool was launched for the first demo rushed meme coin PHP. So someone minted PHP coin back in 2020, and 4 years after, miners collected the whole supply of it, and then it was relaunched as a meme coin, which is quite interesting that you can recycle tokens being lost and may make them meme coins even. Then a lot of things going on in Mu Finance land. Check the vibrant community, the groups, a lot of things going on there. There is community attempt to launch Oracle pool version 2.0 based Oracle pool for USD. There is a group for that. Please join also if you wanna participate. In Dexy developers group, we are now talking how to deliver UI. That there is need for contributors to finish polish a little bit UI and to launch Dexy Gold. Finally, then hopefully Dexy USD and Dexy Lithium and so on, Dexy Silver. For silver, connectors done. So now it's time to launch an Oracle pool. And so on. There is some progress with Nautilus Mobile, and finally, a contract is signed with a party to do a counterparty to do audits of ledger code. So hopefully in a few weeks then Ergo will be in ledger live. Keystone integration also going quite well. There is initial draft of PR in the repository, and PGR is working on completing that. There are some news, positive news also about Binance Smart Chain bridge testing and so on. So a lot of news getting on my radar. So probably much more is happening. So check the updates published weekly, and check community groups and so on. So it's quite busy time despite holidays.
Yeah, it seems like I'm not as active as I was a few months ago actually in the ecosystem, although we're obviously still working on Ergo tech, so we're obviously active in. I'm just not as hands-on as I used to be, which is unfortunate. But I hope that in this new year I will have more time to really kind of be hands-on again, especially with this bull market coming. I think there's going to be a lot more excitement. coming in. We can participate in some Ergo hacks. Plus, of course, MG Pi is now in the EF, so we have our own part being part of the EF, which is cool. Yeah, it's very exciting to see. Actually, I was approached by a Argentinian firm that is looking to mine Ergo, and so we're trying to kind of figure out how we can make it work. It's a Bitcoin mining operation, and they actually have a huge operation, huge hash rate, but a lot of it is ASIC. And so they can't use ASICs for Ergo. So they do have non-ASIC mining rigs, not as many, but some. And so they're still very interested in mining it, especially since we're building on Ergo. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to, bringing into our ecosystem once that kind of progresses more. But we need to talk a little bit more about, me and you, Alex, and I'm also talking to, I was talking to QX about it. Who else was I talking to about it? A couple of people. Yeah, so we'll figure it out, and we'll get them to participate in the ecosystem. So it's super exciting. So we got some questions here. Let's get to them, I guess. Well, we got
And
this.
yeah, and so for miners and so on, yeah, it would be good. So currently a lot of discussions how to get more players in the ecosystem, because well, it's what making it actually decentralized, right? So well, decentralization is not about like centralized team consisting of dev schedule connected with I don't know VCs, maybe ASICs producer. Talking about decentralization, but yeah, well, it's about many players, right? Well, it's good to have many big players, right, in the ecosystem, and then the question is how to onboard them and how to make them.
It's a bit challenging because so many are just set up for ASIC, ASIC mining. And so even though they want to come to Ergo, a lot of times it's a bit challenging. But these particular guys actually, they said that they actually see a lot of potential in Ergo, and they don't mind that they're not going to be making a huge, a killing doing it right now, because they know that is going to it's gonna increase, and there's gonna be a lot of opportunity there for miners going into this market right now. So yeah, like I said, we'll figure it out. I guess the will is there. We'll find a way. So
Yeah, good. So, yeah, well, we need to get, well, more and more big players in the ecosystem, right?
yeah, and these guys are big.
Interest.
Like I said, like these guys are actually pretty big. The like I said, the problem is that they just don't have that many non-ASICs machines. Like most of their mining operation is ASICs. So it's yeah, but they do have some. We'll make those work, and then we'll see maybe what we can do with the ASICs machines later on down the line to figure something out. But yeah, the hash rate there with ASICs is humongous. It was like some crazy number, and I looked before I found out that about like 90% of those machines were ASICs machines. I was looking at this. I'm like, holy crap! Like these guys are going to be making a killing.
Do they have hydro in Argentina? I believe a lot of hydro there, right?
I mean, I'm sure they do. One thing about Argentina, and I guess that was kind of like me. Well, I mean, it's like no duh, but you just don't really realize it, how big it is, until you get there, and it's huge. Argentina is a damn large country. And so there's I mean, you get all sorts of climates out there. You have, Buenos Aires, which is actually a lot like Los Angeles, climate wise. Really sunny a lot of times. The weather is really good. But then you go to other regions, and it could get really hot or really cold, because the South is so close to the South Pole that there's a lot of places that are snow on the ground, all year long, mostly. But yeah, there are places with hydroelectric. There's also places with hydroelectric, I believe, in Paraguay. Uh, so there's quite a bit of opportunity there. Plus, they're also really into kind of sustainable power generation. So like low carbon footprint stuff, carbon credits, and so they are, they have all these other means like wind and solar. There's solar farms out there, and because there's a lot of sun in Argentina. I mean, there's really large patches of desert,
Hmm.
like Catamarca. Catamarca is a lot of it is desert. Like a lot of it is like I would say Eastern California going into Nevada, like Arizona, Nevada. I mean, it really reminds you of that. There's at the high. I mean, there's high elevations too that are not as hot, but a lot like where we were in Catamarca and then in Jujuy and Salta. That was just straight desert. That, like, no doubt about it. It was high desert, but it was desert. And so there's a lot of solar farms out there. So there's and obviously wind. There's quite a bit of wind over there. So yeah, a lot of opportunities, I think, and I think they're really hungry for new opportunities out there. It's that whole economy is just really booming right now. There's a lot of people kind of waking up and saying, "Hey, we got all these things that we can offer to the world, and all these things that the world can offer to us, and let's see what we can do." So yeah, very exciting, good stuff, and a lot of opportunity for Ergo. Um, oh, we got Jume. I think he used to work for the CIA. I'm not sure. Um, yeah, this guy. I don't know about this guy. Um, Anyway, all right, let's get into some questions. We actually got some. We don't have a huge amount of people here, but we do have some really good questions. So
Yeah.
let's go to Augustus Kent here. So block rewards reduced to 18. What effect does it have on the hash rate and sell pressure? So what do you think, Alex?
All right, so around the past weekend, well, emission dropped to 18 per block from 21, and we are going to have a party in coming days. It was proposed by Chris Ray, because yeah, for him it's kind of a psychologically important level, right? I mean, to have emission falling below 20, and well, if it's important for him, then why not to have party? I mean, it sounds like a good reason to have party after all, right? If it makes at least some community members happy, then why not? Yeah, we will have a party in coming days in form of I don't know, maybe Twitter Spaces or Zoom call. Please join, maybe with your favorite beverage, like carrot juice, I don't know, maybe tea with lemon, something like that. Yeah, then, sorry, what was the question about?
It wasn't
What's
about
effect?
carrot juice, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah, refreshing and healthy beverage. Yeah, also helping, yeah, to have parties, for funny parties. After all. All right. So the question so about hash rate. So actually, hash rate was quite stable or even increasing because there was price increase around the same day. So yeah, it was very okay, the transition to lower emission. Then, yeah, the question is also about cell pressure, right? So, well, effects not visible. Maybe about this particular drop in emission, but yeah, I think overall, so you know, like 3 years ago, we had 67.5 ergs per block going to miners, and now just 18. And well, yeah, well, effects are quite visible if you are tracking deposits to exchanges, right? So well, it's now definitely much much more rare event, right? When you see, like, I don't know, 50K ERC transfer to a centralized exchange, right, from a miner address. So 33 years ago, that happened like daily, right? Because emission was about 50K a day. So now. Well, there were a lot of small deposits, but yeah, well, for big miners, yeah, they were big deposits happening regularly. So now, well, emission is just about 13K a day, and definitely much less deposits. And so if you visit Ergo.watch website, and then well, charts which is about well, total amount on deposit addresses on centralized exchanges. So you see that, yeah, currently, well, number there is about early minimum value, right? So, well, emission is going on, but yeah, well, more ergs actually extracted from centralized exchanges. So then, yeah, well, definitely, there is effect, right, of reduced emissions. So that's quite visible. So, well, centralized exchanges balances are going down, right, and reaching minimum values, right, so breaking early lows. Well, week after week, basically. Which is quite exciting because, well, centralized exchanges are not good, right? And, well, if miners are using them, then, yeah, well, reduced emission is helping to extract, right, X from centralized exchanges, because, well, having millions on centralized exchanges is creating certain risks, right, for possible redistribution of ergs towards hackers and so on, because, well, centralized exchanges are being hacked regularly, right, or being shut down or whatever. So yeah, folks, better to avoid holding on centralized exchanges. So yeah, better to pull your ergs out of centralized exchanges. So yeah, well, in short, effects are visible for emission reduction, and well, hash rate is doing well.
All right. All right. We actually got another one here. Let's see, from Alex C. So, any plans to update the SIG USD protocol to mitigate future bear whale attacks?
Yeah, so there are discussions happening in developers community, right? So there are five update key holders. So it depends on the decision. So there are some proposals. That about introducing limits just for minting both CQSD and SIG-RSV. There is probably better but also more complicated and still not formalized proposal about introducing dynamic fee, right? So then making CQSD closer to dynamic jet, right? Gluon to some extent. So join Ergo developers group and CQSD group. So for some reason, talks migrating from one group to another and then back. So it's better to follow both the groups to follow all the discussions. Next question. What is the feasibility of a private blockchain messaging on Ergo? That's possible. There is, I believe, I reviewed once an AP draft about that. How to get shared secret key from your key and just public key of another party. Right, and then how to derive encryption key from that, and then how to encrypt messages. So, I forgotten EAP number, but you can find it. Well, about concrete implementations, I don't know. Maybe there was some implementation done over some hackathon, but I'm not sure about that. Oh, next question to Dan, finally. I'm talking too much, probably. Dan, you're muted.
I'm not muted. I'm speaking to you telepathically. This is common knowledge. Fine, I was muted. Well, actually, I wasn't, but I'm trying to make you feel better. Let's see. Yeah, finally one for me. Although I think I like questions for Kushti more because it's much more fun listening to him explain. All right. How many languages do you speak? Which one do you speak most eloquently? So let's see. I speak fluently. I speak Russian, English, and Japanese. I speak Ukrainian, or used to speak Ukrainian, but I'm really rusty because I just don't have anybody to speak Ukrainian to. But it's like one of those things. It's like riding a bicycle. It's anytime I'm in that like environment, it comes back, but again, it then goes away again. So it's a weird thing. But mainly, those three and a half. Ukrainian, if I had more opportunity to just speak it, it would be four. But the ones that I use every day is three: English, Russian, and Japanese. Which one am I most eloquent in? I mean, it depends. I guess, like equally English and Russian, I would say it's about the same. Japanese, I can be eloquent in Japanese, but sometimes I have my brain farts, and then I say something and it just sounds kind of dumb, and then later on I think about it and I say, "What the hell? Wait a second, I know how to say that. Like, why did I say it like that? I know how to say this stuff, right?" So it's a never-ending battle to not sound stupid. Yeah, so I think that takes care of that question. All right, let's. Okay, well, you know what? Well, let's take this question. I know we get these, but let's maybe address it. So
Yeah, then yeah, Nabil's right.
yeah. So, what do you think about the current marketing efforts in the community, and would you have any suggestions for improvement? Okay, so I mean, again, what has been actually this would be a really good QX question. Unfortunately, he's not here because there's something about him, and I don't know, he caught like Ebola or something. I don't know what the hell is wrong with that guy, but anyway, yeah. So what's been going on with marketing, Alex? Have we had any kind of new marketing pushes, or what's been happening?
Yeah, so about suggestions for improvements, I actually can talk a lot about, well, suggestions, right, for improvement. But then we had a community town hall call on marketing back in November. I guess, yeah, it was November probably, and then yeah, well, I tried to suggest some things, but yeah, it seems, well, a lot of well, other peoples also have a lot of suggestions, and then yeah, well, quickly I've got lost, and well, the talk. So it was about 1 hour and a half. So well, it changed well, topics, and well, a lot of things were discussed and so on. So yeah, that's how well. Things should be, maybe, right, if we are talking about, well, community which is not controlled by a certain party, right, which is, well, decentralized. So, well, you may have a lot of suggestions, right? The question is who is going to hear them, right, and consider. But yeah, well, still, I think, well, that there is need, right, to improve some things, and I am working on some improvements personally. My main focus at the moment is about, well, promoting Ergo from a developer's perspective to developers, right? So as we are now having some positive well, pricing, right, and well, some buses going around. So I think time to get more developers, and well, if some people in the community are talking about well, very strange kind of talk, so which well, fiat price is possible for ERC token, right? Which is, I don't know, quite strange to me, because any fiat number is just a mental trap, I guess, right? So I mean, you can call any number, and probably, well, it will be reached at some point, but yeah, what's the point in any concrete number even? That's quite strange to me, at least. But yeah, so what I'm thinking about is how to get well, 10x developers, right, in 2025 for, well, core and ecosystem development. That would be much more solid, right, talking about, well, recognition and so on. And then so what's needed, I think, is some strong messaging, right? So I'm looking at some successful communities around, such as Bitcoin to some degree, and now Monero, right? So what they are good at is about sending strong messaging, right? About pushing the mimetic warfare around, right? So they're feeling Twitter, now X, with memes, they're feeling other social networks that they have strong supporters about pretty simple and powerful messages, right? Bitcoin maybe not so much these days, but yeah, 10 years ago it was the case. Bitcoin was very strong mimetically. That's why people did stick with it, like me, right? Because the community pretty small back then. Actually, was quite strong, right, in their messaging. The same, I see now to a certain degree in Monero community, and I think how to achieve the same, right? And I'm pushing people around about achieving the same, so about forming some strong messaging, right, and creating mimetic warfare, and spread it around, and then it could be on different levels, right? So you can attract developers even with certain kind of mimetic push even, right? And then just ordinary users like I don't know, traders, enthusiasts, hackers, and so on. There are different audiences, right, with different requests, different needs, needs for messaging, including and we have already some brilliant people messages around, like Demorash Luis, for example. I'm trying to do some things, but we need for more, right? So unlike privacy coins, Ergo maybe is quite complex, right? Like financial and monetary systems are very complex as well, but you can just push some aspect of it, right? Like Demorash Luis is pushing Demorash narrative to Bitcoiners and so on. Because Ergo is quite unique here, or Joe is pushing quite successfully peer-to-peer finance narrative and so on. So there are many levels here, right, and many angles you can take a look at Ergo tech, and not just tech. So those are my thoughts. So what do you think about the question? You are mute again.
Yeah, it's only 15 clicks to unmute myself. Sorry. I mean, I think that, and you know what's actually, there's actually a really good comment from Wendy Moon on this. And so this is actually the very bottom. Sorry, guys, I'm going to go to the very bottom of the comments here. She says, when it comes to strong messaging, Bitcoin has a simple message: digital gold. Monero is privacy, but Ergo has more complicated message because it can do so many things. How do we convey Ergo's message? You know, I kind of thought about that quite a bit. And and this kind of has to be improved. But to me, so Bitcoin is digital gold. Ergo is digital clay. It just that's what it is to me. You can it's ready to create and mold so many different things, and you can make it in so many different shapes and things that to me is digital clay. And I know that might not be the best kind of marketing phrase. Might want to come up with something a little bit more eloquent or a little bit more, I don't know, I don't know, little something that sounds a little bit more but just like I said, to me it's digital clay, because it's Bitcoin, it's Monero, it's all these things put together. And it's our thing has always been, Ergo was launched ready to go, right out the box. We had all these different things that other blockchains took time to deploy. They already deployed on Ergo from the get-go. Just like clay, you can take a piece of clay and build a house with it. You can take a piece of clay and build you know a pot out of it. It's so versatile. And that's really the message of Ergo to me, is versatility. And I think that we are the community, kind of what you were talking about, like the what some call tyranny of the majority, or herding cats, which is basically decentralization, trying to come up with any kind of unified decision, and the decentralized communities like herding cats. But from that also comes a really clear diversity message. So that thing that I said, where it's so there's so much that can be built in it. That's why there's all these voices here. It's not just one voice for this one thing that everybody is obsessed over, like TVL or something, or I don't know, something else that the other guys are all obsessed about. Transactions on chain. That's all they care about. Solana is like, oh, Solana did a gazillion transactions on chain. Who gives a shit? They're garbage. It's like,
yeah, it's the most disgusting messaging, probably, right?
Well, that's the thing, but that is really the narrative of today's blockchain field, unfortunately. At least, the one that is out there, the popular. The popular kids, that's what they keep talking about, and I see this stuff, like the Solana Foundation out there I think we were just talking about that, right? Just a little bit ago, about how like Solana has crossed Ethereum in transactional volumes. Like, okay, who gives a crap? A bunch of those transactions fail. Most of them are bots. And they're shit to begin with, and it's just like, okay, it's, I mean, that just because a city is filled with people doesn't mean it's a good city. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's with Ergo, it's definitely different. With Ergo attracts a different type of contingent, and so this is why, like I said, the message is this. A message of versatility, and I think that's what's going to work for us. It's a tougher message to get across, but I think that in the end it will be a message that works for us. That's
Yeah.
what my thoughts are.
And so for Bitcoin, there were many messages, actually. So digital gold, maybe not the first one historically. So I've heard about magic internet money, right? So that was back in 2011, 12, something like that. Then, money without central bank, that's what I've bought. So to me, it was mind blowing, to have money with emission not dependent on any, trusted party. I mean, somehow, this is not surprising people these days. This is, I don't know, quite like a normal thing, but I don't know. But back in 2011, that was quite revolutionary to me to have, a mission without any trusted party for real. Right, with no any illusion here, right? So just without any trusted party, which is not so quite visible, so maybe influential, or maybe with replaced with federation or whatever. So no, just no trusted party at all, right? And algorithmic commission you have, and you have working. Kind of monetary system around that. Digital gold. There was a push about. Not sure about timing. Just 21 million. All right. So usually it works well during high inflation period for fiat currencies. And for Ergo, we also have a lot of messaging, right? Like Demurash Luis is pushing for money with fixed supply. The only one kind of money with fixed supply, unlike Bitcoin, which supply is going to zero. Right then, my initial presentations back in 2019, so presentations made during Asian Roadshow were about digital gold with contracts. Right, so when you have digital gold, but also with possibility to have contracts, so to build trustless derivatives, and so on, so to have high level money systems. Then a platform for money, right, for monetary systems. Maybe it's quite complex, but also working for some people. Then a platform for peer-to-peer finance, platform for peer-to-peer financial interactions, and so on. So there are different messages here, right? And when some blockchain is if the community is just saying, I don't know, we are Web3 layer 1 project with Basilion TPS, I mean, this is just nothing, right? I mean, you guys are just, I don't know, trumping the air with unnecessary words, right? They're not telling anything, really. I mean,
it's smoke and mirrors. That's all it is. It's smoke and mirrors. It's things that people that are perceived as smart because they're smarter than other people. They're just kind of hijacking this narrative, and the narrative itself is really dumb. But because some people are just too intimidated by this guy is so and so, he did so and so. That they buy into this shit, and then in the end, it does nothing. And in the end, it's moot. So, and you are right. The messaging does change. It's not always the same messaging. It's not always the same thing that is being said, and it changes throughout the years. And so, like I said, it is. It's all about, like I said, it's all about the versatility of the ecosystem, and that is our strongest suit. And so however we choose to describe that, to me is digital clay, to others it's Bitcoin with contracts, digital gold with contracts. it doesn't have to be all the same. It can be several different ones, and it can be targeted for different groups. But one thing is certain is that the versatility is our strong point, and versatility is what we should be pushing. All right. Yeah, I think that's about a good time to wrap it up. And here's a nice message from White Cat. So thank you, White Cat. It's great to be back. And yeah, thank you for watching the documentary. Part 2 is coming. Part 2 is we're going to be filming that when we go back to Argentina. And this is also one of the reasons why it's so important for us to start working. And we are working on the lithium index and all of this stuff, because when we go back to Argentina in late March, early April, we're already going to deploy this so that we can then, expand on our efforts for that sustainable lithium mining, because we're going to have this index, most likely going to have the stablecoin launched. We're going to have different projects coming on Endeavor to utilize the STO and the ETO platform. Going to have other projects utilizing PoW Pro. So it's going to be very exciting, and it's going to be really cool to be able to go back there and to really continue the work, because it is super exciting and you're making a difference. You just see that you're making a difference. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. I will do all I can to be.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Then maybe last question for you. Do we have 1 minute? So it's from FC. Then when token launch for PoW, how much has been raised from stake pool funding rounds, grants, etc.? How many sky miles?
Oh, there it is.
You rock up in 2024. So 3 questions. So you may cut.
Right. So the Palm token launch. So it's coming up really soon. In fact, we're actually gonna drop the dates, I think, later on. Well, I guess it's whoever you are in the world. In the next few hours, we're actually going to drop the dates for TGE, and so that's coming up real soon. We have so just watch out for that on Palm Economy. But like I said, I'd love to say right now, but I'm going to mess up our entire marketing comms, and they're going to be really pissed off at me if I just drop it right now. So I'll give them the chance to do their jobs. Wait a few hours, it's going to be announced, but it's very soon. We're at basically kind of like the finish line right now. There's a lot of stuff in the pipeline. We got the centralized exchanges, although we don't like them much, but we have to work with them. We got some nice ones for people to trade on. We got also DEXs that we are going to be launching on. There's going to be liquidity that we're going to be providing for this. So there's going to be quite a lot of action for the Palm holder. Staking is going to go live soon. There's going to be a new product that I was talking about that's going to be utilizing Palm, that is going to also utilize a lot of traceability. That is going to also be a big value add for the Palm holders. So how much has been raised? Through everything, I believe it was, I have to look at the numbers, but I believe it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.5 million ADA, I believe. And because we had several different rounds. But yeah, altogether, I think it's about 1.5. And so there's going to be one last tranche for the public sale that we're going to be doing right now. This is going to be part of the announcement as well. That's going to be happening in a few hours, and so that will lead us into TGE. And so TGE is happening, whether you like it or not. It's happening real soon. It's happening. Well, you'll know when it's happening, but it's all lined up. So just like I said, just wait for that announcement, and I think you'll be very happy. And again, thank you for hanging with us. It hasn't been easy getting through the bear market right now. One of the main reasons we kind of made sure that we launch in the right times because, like I said on our Discord, I just could not, it would be irresponsible for me to launch into the depths of the bear market. And I think that the Palm holders appreciate that, and I think they will appreciate it even more because, well, once we actually pull the trigger on a lot of these things that are ready to go. So yeah, really happy that we are doing it now, and that we have a lot more opportunity for everybody to have a really happy TGE. And how many Sky Miles have you racked up in 2024? So, okay. So I have been racking up a lot of Emirates miles, but the problem is that only like 6 months ago that I discovered that I could actually earn Emirates because Emirates are like the most difficult miles to get. But I was able to understand that there's actually a way to get Emirates miles from like booking hotels and stuff. If you go through booking.com, you can actually earn Emirates miles if you go through their app. So I just started earning like a lot of Emirates miles. So you would think I have a lot, but they're all like scattered all over the place. Yeah, I got KLM, I got Emirates, I got Argentinian Airlines. I got like everybody, Air Canada, but they're all just like little by little by little. I got Alaska Airlines. So now the mission for this year is to have like one unified place where I have my miles. It's most likely going to be my Emirates miles, and yeah, we're gonna finally going to be able to. I'm going to finally going to be able to utilize that for if I take 50 flights, I'll probably be able to get an ice cream or something. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, I think this is a good place to leave it off for this week. Thanks for all the questions, and thanks for all of your, for all your input, for participating, because that's what it's all about. All right, and so yeah, thanks for joining, Alex. So, like I said, I will be at many more of these this year. I will make sure that I make the time. And yeah, and so until then, so I guess what next week, same place, same channel, possibly slightly different time, possibly. I don't know. We'll see, because it is kind of late for me. It's already 10 a.m. So yeah, hopefully we can do it a little earlier next time. But anyway, guys, thanks a lot. And yeah, this is Dan coming to you barely alive from Japan, but still kicking, signing off.
Everyone.